All right, well, let's get started. Thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. My name is Ben Victorica with KnowledgeNet, and I'm joined by Chris Spafford. Our goal today is to provide you an overview of how AI is driving sales results. First, you're going to hear from Chris and his experience and resources through his partnership with Sales Xceleration. And then I'll provide you with an overview and demonstration of KnowledgeNet. During our webinar, if you have any questions, please add them to the Q&A linked below, and we'll answer the questions during the webinar. Chris, please tell us about yourself and your role with Frable.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. And hi, everybody. So you'll see my company name is Frable, actually stands for Fractional Business Leadership. And at the core of my business is my affiliation with Sales Xceleration. Sales Xceleration is the largest network of fractional VP of sales in the country. There's about 200 of us, all with very similar characteristics in that we have 25 years or more of experience leading sales teams, and ultimately all made a decision to start our own business and help others achieve the same sort of success that we achieved in setting up a robust sales infrastructure.
Excellent. Let me start the presentation so you can tell us a little bit more.
Basically, what we do at Sales Xceleration is we work with small and medium-sized businesses and really assess four major pillars of sales infrastructure, which include strategy, process, organization, and analytics. What you see on the screen are, between sales assessment, training, sales management, recruiting, those are all pieces of it. But think of sales infrastructure as the foundation by which you build your business development upon. Without a solid foundation, ultimately what you're doing, you'll have difficulty sustaining and scaling over the long term. And so what I do is I come in and measure the gaps. And once we assess those gaps, we'll put the best practices in place for your business and ultimately make sure you've got the right team and right measurements to actually document your improvement. Ideal customer profile is one of those critical pieces of strategy. Depending on what industry you're in, what verticals you service, you're going to have one or more ideal customer profiles. And this is the company or person who you want to sell to. You can look at it as a parametric search. So there might be certain job roles or titles that you're selling to, such as purchasing managers, could be engineers, could be operational managers. What's the average size of the company you want to do business with? What's their annual revenue? Are you targeting somebody over $5 billion or someone in the 100 to 500 million range? What industries they're in? Are you geographic, national, or global? Number of employees, public or private? And then growth rate, right? Are you expanding or contracting? So these are all critical parameters of what we would set up in terms of the ideal customer profile. This is all done in the strategy part of the engagement, where we're now building, okay, here's your target audience, here's the ideal customer profile. Now, how do we go get it? And that really brings us to process, right? So in the process, one of the very first steps is prospecting. And one of the questions I get all the time is, where do I start? And I've seen companies start anywhere from Google. They'll look at companies and try to find different names. They'll use LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, and ultimately KnowledgeNet offers an amazing solution to the problem that a lot of these companies have is how do you find these contacts? LinkedIn takes a long time. Zoom Info, super expensive, starts at $15,000 a year. And when you start talking about their Insights version or the AI version, you could be north of $25,000 a year for access for 5 licenses. You can spend money on Google Ads and Facebook, but do you really have the analytics in place to measure your success? Email, super tough. Response rates are very low. And I've even seen companies hire full-time employees who actually go out and they're doing cold calls, they're researching people on the web, paying thousands a month just to bring in leads. And I think what Ben will share with you is there's a better way to do it.
Excellent, Chris. Thank you. And to support what you were saying and kind of reiterate it, the things are expensive and they take a long time. And ultimately, when they operationalize that and they send out hundreds of emails, maybe with generic messages, they're getting less than 1% of response. It's 1/4 of 1%. And if they have sales development reps, business development reps making cold calls, they're also achieving less than a 1% return of their outbound calling efforts. So how can we accelerate that? Like, how can we deliver prioritized warm referrals, people in your network already that can give you a warm introduction? With KnowledgeNet, we're able to do this in less than 10 days. The goal is, of course, to help you grow revenue and reduce the costs that we were talking about, contact sources and LinkedIn Navigator, ChatGPT, and doing this by leveraging your relationships. The way that it works is we create an organization for your company and we add the users, typically the sales team, the people that are contacting customers. They sync their email and their LinkedIn connections to that KnowledgeNet organization, to your secure KnowledgeNet organization. And then we use AI to connect all of this information going back 1 year through your emails and meetings and generate the relationship intelligence, generate the connection paths. And then we leverage this to give you insights and provide you with additional uses of AI. The impact is that we're able to provide for you the warm introductions, who in your network's network can introduce you to that person that you're trying to reach, provide you details of who in your network has changed jobs. Maybe a great customer has gone to work for a new company and you're not aware of that, but we give you that insight so you can follow up with them and make them a customer with their new company. Part of this is that we provide you access to 280 million contacts with very detailed filters that match your ICP. So you can find prospects. And in addition to that, the AI-generated email personality profiles, we're able to share with you what customers or prospects have visited your website anonymously. We call that web traffic intelligence. And we can leverage ChatGPT and other technologies to provide customized AI-generated emails. So the key part is leveraging relationship intelligence, providing exact information of how you are connected to that prospect through your existing network. And when you identify that prospect, providing you personality intelligence so that you know how to message, how to meet with this prospect in a way that it's going to be most meaningful to them. And then as you are leveraging KnowledgeNet to write emails to them automatically, it's taken into account the personality intelligence and the relationship intelligence to create highly personalized emails to them. But going back to how can we do this in less than 10 days? Prioritize these leads and have your sales team be able to generate revenue in less than 30 days. And the way that we do that is that we use AI to search through 280 million contacts, leveraging the two things that we've been talking about: your relationships that we build using KnowledgeNet, your ideal customer profile, and then we use AI to prioritize first and deliver these 1,000 leads, every single one of them with a warm introduction. And we deliver these results. We've been working nationwide with Sales Xceleration. We have sales in every corner of the U.S. We can provide you with reference customers. One of them is CDI Corporation that in less than 4 months, they closed $14 million worth of business, and it all started with KnowledgeNet. So we can give you the contact information of people to talk to. Part of the way that we are working with customers and accelerating is by packaging up these components. So we provide you with licensing of KnowledgeNet for 12 months so that you can use it a la carte fashion and to generate these emails for the prioritized leads. We provide the 1,000 prioritized leads upfront. We allow you to use the web traffic intelligence for a month. And for this entire package, we charge $1,000. Essentially, it's the same cost of subscription fees for a year, but it's at a significant discount. Number one thing that we are helping them upfront with prioritizing their leads and getting them started, because they all want to grow their business very quickly. Starting that in less than 30 days shows the most impact. But some of you may not have sales teams, but you still want to start. So KnowledgeNet is priced at $30 per user per month. There's no contract, so you can go month to month. And then once you see value, you could have an annual contract and drop the pricing to $25 per user per month. Let me give you a demonstration of how KnowledgeNet works. Let's say that I am in the plastics industry and I'm an extruder of plastics and I'm looking for customers. Let's say that I want to contact one of them, Nationwide Gutter, so I can sell them extruded plastic gutters. I have the KnowledgeNet Chrome extension here on the right-hand side, and if I click on it, I'm able to see information about Nationwide Gutter. And the first thing I see is that no one in my organization has ever contacted this customer, but my network can introduce me. So Joe English has a 2 degree of separation from Renee Grossman. I can click here and I can see exactly how Joe and I are connected. We've had 7 meetings and 96 emails, and Joe and Renee are connected, and Renee is the founder of Nationwide Gutter. So if I like this connection path and I want to ask Joe for that introduction, all I have to do is click this purple button, write intro email, and it'll package up this relationship intelligence into an email asking Joe to please introduce me to Renee. Once I have been introduced to him, I may want to find out more information about Renee. So if I go to Renee's profile here, I can go to his LinkedIn page. I can click on the information tab, and in the information tab, I can see information like his cell phone number, which I've hidden here because we're on a national webinar. I can click here and get his personality profile, which will help me when I'm going to have a meeting with him so that I can present to him and communicate to him in a way that's going to be most impactful. So if I click here, I'm able to see things that are motivators and drainers for him, the communication style that I should follow, how we should work together, and recommendations of do's and don'ts for meeting and speaking with Renee. None of this is his profile, but I wanted to show you exactly the example of how this would work. If I close this box here, and if I didn't have a connection path, an introduction like from Joe English, I could use AI to write an email. And this isn't just any email. This is a specific one that's coming from me and my role and information about my company. It's going to Renee and information about him and his company. So it customizes that into a custom prompt in ChatGPT, which is embedded in KnowledgeNet. When I click the next button, it generates that email that I can also customize by clicking here and changing the length of the email or changing anything that I want. So there's an automatic draft. Close this box here and show you how to add Renee to my CRM, because this is a prospect that I want to continue with. I can click this list area and then just add them to any one of my CRM systems that I have. And then if I go back to the company itself and I click the information tab here, then I'm able to see things about the company, access all of the employees at the company, and I can use AI to find similar companies. Again, I'm a plastics manufacturer. I'm looking for as many companies as I can. If I click there, it packages up information about Nationwide Gutter and shows me potential alternatives in the market. I can keep asking for 10 more through ChatGPT, or I can use KnowledgeNet to search over 70 million companies and find in the keyword search of gutters, find 3,293 companies nationwide that focus on gutters. The other thing I could do would be to search people. We have actually now 280 million contacts with the detailed filtering that I mentioned earlier, that you're able to find people in industries and by job role and title to help you grow your business. So Chris, I'm going to turn it back over to you now.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. It's amazing. I always enjoy going through the presentation because it's amazing how many features you've wound up packing into this product. One of the things I like most about it is the integration of Crystal Knows, which is what gives you the behavioral characteristics of the person you're trying to contact. It's one of the things that I teach in my business development training seminars, and probably one of the most powerful tools a sales individual or business development individual can have. Everyone has a different communication style, and to be able to communicate with them in a style they understand, really powerful. Combine that with the advent of AI, having AI content generation produce emails in a style that the individual is going to understand is incredibly powerful. And I think from a prospecting standpoint, you really can't ask for a better tool. The next step, of course, is once you have a prospect and you start to communicate with them, you need the rest of it in order to close the deal, right? So you really should have a consistent process that all the sales reps follow, good closing techniques, and ultimately all of that is packaged into sales infrastructure. So KnowledgeNet AI really is the beginning of process. And from a sales acceleration standpoint, my standpoint, what I do is help with the precursor to that and the tail end of it to help you close it out. I want to talk about one of the new products that Sales Xceleration just launched. It's called Framework. And I don't know how many of you on the call are familiar with EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System, but the same holding company owns both Sales Xceleration and Framework. And so Framework really dovetails into the EOS company management operating system. And the way it's set up for companies that are, say, further along in the infrastructure development cycle. So they have a sales organization, they've got a sales leader, they've got some fundamentals in place. And I can give you what a typical engagement looks like for a small company that doesn't have anything in place. It's usually 4 months, 3 to 4 months that I'm spending with them to set everything up, usually for 4 hours a week of together time. So it's quite intensive. The larger companies that wind up having a lot of these mechanisms in place that need focus and need a good framework to build upon is what this tool provides. And we do it in 6 days. So the first 3 days, one groundbreaking day followed by 2 consecutive foundation building days, level 1, level 2. That takes place over a 30 to 45-day period. And then once a quarter, I meet with the team. And once a year, we have a 2-day strategy building session, which is really in the fourth quarter. And what it does is it really condenses the program to a point where it's utilizing the tools a company already has in place, building in accountability formats, a lot of new tools that are really aligned with the EOS methodology. And a lot of companies that we do business with wind up having that EOS or familiarity with EOS. So it's a real nice dovetail. And this has just been launched. It's available today. I actually have my first client going through it in the next couple of weeks. So really looking forward to it. And if you fit this profile, definitely something you should consider. Ben, anything else on your end?
No, nothing else on my end. What I'm going to do is check and see if there's questions and then stop sharing the video. I do see that there's one question related to how long does it take to get started using KnowledgeNet? And the answer is that in less than 5 minutes, I can create a KnowledgeNet organization and invite the company and the users, and then the users can start using KnowledgeNet instantly to get contact information that matches their ICP. And then in a couple of minutes, they can set up and sync their emails and their LinkedIn. And because we live where they work, there's little to no training, even though, we do provide it. Well, Chris, I don't see any other questions. We must have answered them. It's time to conclude our webinar. At the end of Chris and my contact information. So if you'd like to speak with Chris about Prabul and the fractional VP of sales that he can offer or the framework, please contact him. If you'd like a one-on-one demo for KnowledgeNet, please contact me, and looking forward to having the opportunity to meet with you on a one-on-one basis.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for showing up today. And Ben, thank you for inviting me to participate in the presentation. I've been using KnowledgeNet for a while. I have clients using KnowledgeNet. I think it's a great tool and definitely will continue to endorse it.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris, for joining. Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Bye.